Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random book reviews from the overflow room. And I've got most of my books put away now. I am so excited. Look at that. Oh, my God. I have a room. Oh, wow. It has space. It's incredible. I can put in a pool table or an air hockey thing. Well, anyway, I have 3 books here. 3 fabulous books on music. Well, fabulous in, maybe a literal sense, but let me get them. Okay. Are you ready? You sure you're ready? Because number 1 is Adorno's Mahler. Theodore Adorno. He goes beyond conventional thematic analysis. That's for sure. To gain a more complete understanding of Mahler's music through his character, his social and philosophical background, and his moment in musical history. Okay, you ready? A masterpiece. This is tremendous stuff, says Peter Franklin in the Musical Times. Oh, it's okay. Here's the bottom line with Adorno. Some of you know him well. Some of you may not have heard of him. He was a major German left-wing music Schoenberg supporter guy. Kind of, sort of. And he was famous for writing incomprehensible paragraphs in which he has flashes of true insight filled with, interspersed with more gobbledygook and nonsense than you've ever heard in your entire life. And I have a modest example. You can turn to any page of this tome, a little book actually, but dense, but basically any page. It looks like this. The paragraph starts here, continues entirely on the next page, and then, keeps going. Oh my God, it goes on for like weeks. And, of course, this being German, you've got like those endless sentences with all the verbs at the end. This is an English translation. Pity his translators. So here is a typical Adornian statement. Are you ready? But Mahler's primary experience, inimical to art, needs art in order to manifest itself, and indeed must heighten art from its own inner necessity. The Germans cannot write a sentence without talking about inner necessity. It's just one of those inner necessity things. They have an inner necessity to talk about their inner necessity. For the image corresponding to breakthrough is damaged because the breakthrough has failed, like the Messiah, to come into the world. To realize it musically would be at the same time to attest to its failure in reality. It is in music's nature to overreach itself. Utopia finds refuge in its no man's land. What the immanence of society blocks cannot be achieved by an immanence of form derived from it. Must I continue? You get the picture, right? Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, it's a seminal study, actually, of Mahler. It takes him seriously. It treats him as important. And some of Adorno's insights really are quite remarkable. And you read them and you go, yes, he gets it. Then you read the next sentence and you go, oh, he doesn't get it. Why did he have to just continue? Why couldn't you just leave it at... Okay, back to normalcy. Mendelssohn, the Cambridge Companion to Mendelssohn, edited by Peter Mercer Taylor. A very, very handy study, actually. It deals with issues in biography. Mendelssohn and the institutions of German art music. Mendelssohn and Judaism, of course, you got to do that. Felix and Fanny, his sister, gender, biography, and history. Then situating the compositions. Mendelssohn and the rise of musical historicism, which they have to talk about, of course, because Mendelssohn was one of the guys who invented the canon of classical music. And in Leipzig, with his historical concerts, revived interest in J.S. Bach. So that was a big deal. Let's see, Mendelssohn as progressive, like Brahms the progressive, Profiles of the music, symphony and overture, the works for solo instruments and orchestra, Mendelssohn's chamber music, the music for keyboard, on Mendelssohn's sacred music, Real and Imaginary, by R. Larry Todd. That's a really good essay. Mendelssohn's songs, Felix Mendelssohn's dramatic compositions, from Liederspiel to Lorelei, That's also interesting because there's much more of that stuff than people realize. And then finally, reception and performance. Mendelssohn received, and Leon Botstein has an essay in here. Wagner as Mendelssohn, reversing habits and reclaiming meaning in the performance of Mendelssohn's music for orchestra and chorus. Okay, whatever. So, a very, very handy book if you like Mendelssohn. Really worth reading. And last but not least, a nice little compendium edited by Brian Newbold of Schubert studies. Newbold, of course, did some of the Schubert symphony completions and things like that. He's a major Schubert guy. So these are fun as well, of various essays by people. I like these academic essay collections, I have to say. Sometimes they're all garbage, like a lot of the Bruckner ones, but often you find really, really interesting pieces by very thoughtful people. For example, Schubert's Tempo Conventions by Clive Brown, who's the non-vibrato loser guy. Schubert's Transitions, Schubert's String and Piano Duos in Context. Am Mir, the song reconsidered, strophic, binary, or ternary. Schubert's Great C Major Symphony, the Autograph revisited. That's always fun. You see things that have never been seen before. Biding His Time, Schubert Among the Bohemians in the mid-19th century. Architecture as Drama in late Schubert, Schubert's Piano Sonatas, Thoughts about Interpretation and Performance by Andras Schiff. Also a valuable collection of insights by a major Schubert pianist. Schubert and the Ungers, a preliminary study. That's his relationship with people. Schubert's relationship with women, an historical account. Adversity, Schubert's illnesses and their background. Well, there's a lot of conjecture there. But still, then you've got an index of Schubert's works and a general index and all that stuff. Fun stuff to read if you're looking to enrich your knowledge. And the reason these studies are fun, sometimes they're terribly expensive to buy, which is unfortunate. But they're good because you don't have to read long, huge, biographical things. It's good to read shorter excerpts on specific topics that may interest you and that will point you in a useful direction for future listening, because the point, of course, after the reading is the listening. So keep on listening, friends, and reading too. Absolutely. Thank you for joining me. Take care.